Hi, I'm Mike Hayes. You may have seen or heard my long-running Keys to Success shows. They're featured on NBC, CBS, ABC, Fox, USA Today, and I'm also founder of PressTalkBooks.com. I'm the storyteller's storyteller with the real story behind the book. With me today is my good friend Mike Driggers to speak with me about the real story behind his latest book, The One Element. If you work in any type of business whatsoever and you want to grow more, you want to grow yourself, you want to expand your business to the bigger game and even grow rich, hopefully, then you need to get my friend Mike Driggers' great book, The One Element. Conversations with visionary entrepreneurs and thought leaders that share their secrets for living an extraordinary life. Today, for my listeners, I want to squeeze some of the best secrets out of Mike for you, even before you buy his book. Because I know once you discover what's going on inside and you learn the story behind the book, you're going to know Mike as a trusted friend in commerce. Soon, you'll want to own your own copy of The One Element by Mike Driggers. Right now, let me give you some personal backstory that I know about Mike and which shows you so clearly that this book is truly a mission for Mike. Now, Mike told me that he sees himself as just a good old boy who was born in Texas. But you'll learn he is far more than that when you learn his entrepreneurial life sprouted from the roots of his life as a policeman on the beat and how he learned on the street about the power of being recognized as an authority even before you speak one word. Mike is the world's leading expert on authority marketing and calls himself an authority marketing agent. These days, Mike is busier than a cop on the beat, speaking to audiences across the country about his numerous books and the system he's developed to help others become empowered with instant authority marketing. Being a documentary interview storyteller myself, I actually had to catch up with Mike several times in order to record the whole story behind the book. And I just had to ask Mike to walk us through his past, his present, so together we can all see his big future with the one element. Mike, tell us how this all started.
I started this agency called Unleash Media, and from there, it grew rapidly, the company. And I was marketing speaker, but I ended up working with businesses and other companies and individuals. And then what happened is a lot of venture capitalists would come to me and say, hey, we have our newly funded .com company or some type of company that's still in their garage. Could you make them look larger than life within 90 days for our next round of funding? So we would do that, and we found ways and created systems and techniques to position these companies or individuals or products as an instant authority in their niche, although they were still working out of the back of their garage.
So that's kind of helped me understand where things became aligned, from being a policeman to understanding authority to doing promotion. How did you connect that thread?
So what happened is when you start to position yourself as an authority, people pay attention. You start getting into the media, people listen to what you say. Authority comes in different methods. The trends out there can be started from an authority type of position. Even like in marketing, where's the beef? When someone starts to position authority, look at what happens with football people, baseball, movie stars, right? Any type of sports figure, they become a name. People start wearing their name on their backs.
I want to go back in your childhood a little bit more before you were a policeman. Was it the sporting life and seeing athletes and the?
No, I had my first business when I was 12, but I didn't understand the power of positioning yourself as an authority until I became an officer. Then I experienced what authority was personally. But then when I started having my own business, I had to position myself as an authority in what I do in my niche. And then I started helping businesses do the exact same thing, right? So there was this where I struggled trying to figure out how to position myself. Today, I've positioned myself as an authority and continue to do so. You're always mastering your trade.
Okay, so it was because you started at business so young, that part of your childhood, just business was part of your life, really.
Right.
And then you evolved as a police officer, saw authority, and celebrity marketing. So, what part of that were you most fascinated by as a child?
The entrepreneurship, that I was in control of my time and my money, right? I think that was the biggest part of it.
Great. And then, what about that is affected by the why of what you do today?
Well, again, continuing, I control my own time, my own destiny. If I don't make money, it's my fault, no one else. If I make money, I have no ceiling. I can make as much as I want. It's just up to me, right? It's up to how hard I work or how smart I am at working at what I do. For me, it's always been that freedom to do the things that I want to do and do it the way I want to do it.
And when did you discover the power of authority marketing to make that human connection with
Well,
other people?
Yeah, so that's when the venture capitalist was coming to me, and I started thinking about, hey, I could do this for individuals. I could do this for small business at fractions of the cost. I could do the same thing for small business for pennies on the dollar and position themselves as an authority. Before I went out and started talking to businesses, I had to prove it myself. So I wouldn't position myself as an authority. So I've been featured on ABC, NBC, CBS. I've written several books out. I've been on Brian Tracy TV show. I've been on different TV shows and then interviews on several different podcasts. And I've had my own podcast, been featured in magazines. I mean, so I had to prove it first before I could go tell anybody that they can be an authority. And now I've got coaching clients that have positioned themselves as an authority and are doing very well.
So you transition from wanting to be an authority to get new business, grow your business, get more lifestyle, more time, more freedom. When did you really want to transition to teaching authority marketing so that you could help more and more people and have a bigger impact on their life and their business so they could have a bigger impact on other people's lives?
Sure. So by Napoleon Hill, this quote that says, if you help enough people help themselves, the success will come to you, right? I'd rather have 1% of 100 people's efforts than 100% of one. If I want to touch thousands and millions of people's lives, what's the easiest way for me to do it? I figured that if I could teach people how to do what I do, I can influence the world and touch them in different ways.
And how did you come up with a name for your business?
Instant authority now, right? Let's be an instant authority now. Don't wait. Don't wait till tomorrow, the next day.
But you have the word instant in there. Tell me about anthology books and how you can do it faster because of that. So tell me about that part of it.
Well, so as an instant authority, there's these 7 things that I have that position you as an instant authority. One, it's the mindset, first off, starting that you are an authority and believing you are. Book branding, engaging your audience, that's another one. That's through public speaking, networking. Content marketing, that's through social media, articles, online, offline. Celebrity attachment, that's media, that's movie stars, corporate stars, local stars, your local area. And then you have media newsjacking. These are concepts about in the media. Bill Gates has this quote that says that, if he was to start over, he would spend all his money in PR for whatever business he was doing. And then bam, be always mastering the marketing, your trade and your authority, right? So in book branding, books are the easiest way to create an authority status. Like I just had a friend recently, I've been telling him for years that he needs to write a book, right? So we wrote the book. And when people started realizing that he was an author, he says, I've known these folks for years, and they looked at me at like a totally different light. And it does. It puts you on a pedestal that's above the norm, right? And so when you write a book about your topic or your niche, that puts you as an instant authority. And I'm not talking about an ebook. I'm talking about a tangible book. And with technology today, it's so easy. Not that an ebook's not important. You take your tangible book, that paperback or hardcover, and you have that, but then you create an ebook and you have an audio book, right? So those all combine together. But when you hand someone as your business card a book on your niche that you've written about, authored by you, people take you more serious, and it shortens the sales cycle for folks to make decisions. They don't balk at price. When you start establishing yourself as an authority, you're like a magnet. It starts attracting people to you that want to do business with you.
The other thing is, I think by holding a physical book in a video, the fact that you've got that book right in your hand and the video makes the video much more important. Now, a lot of people can get somebody from A to Z so that they end up with a physical book in their hand. But you've got a unique approach, a unique method, a unique system. And I want to talk about that because I think that's one of the real powers that I see in you, Mike, is what turned you into the world's leading authority marketing agent. So let's talk about system, method, whatever you want to call it.
Sure. And with the comment that you had about the book and the video, always put it towards your face so they can relate. You brand yourself with that book. I'm an author of almost 33 books, but I'm not a writer. I had to find a way to create these books inexpensively. I had to find a way because ghostwriters, they can cost you $10,000 to $30,000 easy. I have a friend that's a New York best-selling ghostwriter. Like he writes books for people and they become New York bestsellers. He charges at least $45,000 to ghostwrite any book. Well, the average person's not going to have that. So I had to find ways to do what I do. And so I was going through a process, and I spent probably at least $50,000 to $100,000 learning this process. But once I figured it out, wow, what a difference it made, because not only for me, but my coaching clients. What ended up happening is I researched, first off, is I wanted to make sure a book is structured correctly. So I researched the top 100 books that have been on New York bestseller for 20 years. And I found a common flow in the structure. I started with that. Then I took that structure, and in my system, I've developed a way to where when we do a book, we follow this structure, but you end up with not only just a book, but you end up with a DVD, you end up with a CD, ebook, paperback, hardcover. You also end up with online training with it, a workshop presentation from it to do workshops. All of that with only 8 hours of work, and not all at once, right? Really, the big bulk of it's 2 hours of work. There's the first 2 hours is putting the structure together, the outline, and then the next 2 hours is what I do with people and take them through a process. And instantly, we make all those products off the same effort.
Now, let's go back to business process. Just from an authority marketing agent perspective, what group of people do you believe that you have the opportunity to make the biggest impact with and help them make the biggest impact they can make? What's that group?
So a lot of the groups that I tend to attract to me are nonfiction type folks that want to write books. So they're authors or want to be authors, speakers, coaches. I get a lot of speakers and coaches that come to me. But then I also get a lot of businesses, small businesses. Like I've got a couple insurance clients that are unique in what they do in insurance. And so I'm positioning them. I have a coffee business that's looking to position, right? So there's different people, but the majority of people are speakers, coaches, authors or potential authors, thought leaders. Those are the audience that comes to me the most. Or in your case, also the folks with the gig economy, people that are wanting to position themselves as that authority in offering freelance work and offering their services.
All right, Mike Driggers, thanks for joining us.
Well, thank you. Thanks for having me, Mike. I appreciate it.